Now, there's a lot of prejudice and skepticism for bodybuilding because of the abuse of the drugs. Of course, we know that doping spread out to the Olympic Games in every sport almost. Sometimes it's really so obvious, the massive abuse that has been extensively happening to bodybuilding, and of course the death that come out of it. Bodybuilding is not an Olympic sport, and frankly, I don't believe it should be ever done. Actually, bodybuilding is a freak show because size matters, and it's not just about size, also it's about freaky conditioning. As a former champion and as a doctor, I know that medicine has to be along with bodybuilding and bodybuilding along with medicine in order to get the best out of this. Bodybuilding is an art. And in order to make the ideal body safely by using all those PEDs and ergogenics, you need to be monitored close up by a physician who also understands the pathology, pathophysiology of how steroids work, but also to know in first place the endocrinology, the biochemistry, and the chemistry of nutrition, kinesiology. So it's something rare to find in a whole package. So people can get not just how to use steroids, because this is something you can find probably anywhere, but how to use them safely and avoid the potential side effects that come out of it by the use of medical prevention, which is the most important thing in order to have longevity. Among the very rare bodybuilders who became doctors, or doctors who not just did bodybuilding but succeeded in shows and became champions, because it's way different than using steroids, than working out, and then competing and winning shows. I paid the price of my mistakes because I was thinking more as an athlete back then and not as a scientist. Of course, I was not so mature educationally in order to understand the stupid mistakes of the abuse I was using, but I was driven by vein mainly in order to complete my goals and win. Knowledge is the most important parameter. That's why knowledge is power.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Ask Dr Testosterone, starring Dr. George Souliatos, all the way from Athens, Greece. And this time we have a very special guest joining us from upstate New York. You know him so well. He's been a prep coach guru for years and years, trained so many top athletes. Please welcome George Farah.
What's up?
Hello, George.
How are you, George?
I'm fine. Thank you. We have so many friends in common. I mean, the first time I saw in live George Farah was 2016. My first Arnold Classic, when I was together with the two athletes, one from Greece, one from Cyprus. George was coaching the other one, Avramis from Cyprus. Now he's a pro.
Yes.
And he said hi to Rick Collins, my friend, the attorney. And then the other time was the Olympia 2019, when we had a picture. And then 6 months later at the Arnold Classic, when I gave him my book. And yes, you know something, George, another Greek, Mr. Greece, Thanasis Atilakos was first runner-up on Saturday at the NPC Universe. And he told me he was coached by you in 2016.
Yes.
And yes, he managed to finish second, and he was once upon a time my patient also. And also we have another common friend, Samir Benoot. You're Lebanese or Egyptian? You're Lebanese, right?
I'm Lebanese Sicilian.
All right. And I remember when you sat down next to Samir, I was next to Samir at the bridge judging of the Olympia in Las Vegas, 2019. And you said something about Hadi Shupan. And I'll never forget, I can't say that in public, but it was a true statement that I later shared that with Ron, and he agreed. But I I think you're taking now the sport to the correct direction towards longevity and prevention. Okay, of course, I mean, bodybuilding goes towards the freak show and the size, but I believe as we get older, we should support longevity, and we should be careful about our health, which is wealth, of course.
Well, you know, the thing with me, George, that unfortunately I had to go through so many obstacles, and I almost died. You know what I mean? I was sepsis, as you know, when they did my 13-hour surgery to remove my cancer. I just, you know, like that taught me a lot. And I'm trying to tell people, man, listen, there's life, you know, after bodybuilding. I just want the people to be careful. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not going to tell the guys, hey, man, don't use steroids and stuff. It's bullshit. You know why? Because I used it to get where I need to be. You know what I'm saying? And made me champion. I went to the Olympia 3 times and stuff. But, you know, now after I studied, you know, to be an integrative doctor, it really showed me, man, that life is a lot more complex than people think. So I just don't want to think, you know, bodybuilders that, oh, man, let's stick with rice and chicken, or beef and potato. There is, you know, like colorful, a lot of antioxidant stuff that we can, as coaches and as people in the sport we all love, we should infuse, we should let people know about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's all what I'm trying to do. Like I said, I love that sport. You know, this is I mean, bodybuilding is in my blood. I'm never going to stop loving that sport, but I'm just trying to make it just a little bit better. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to interject real quick, because we've talked, George, about the amounts that some of the pros are using. They're so excessive, and you've worked with guys and cut their doses way, way down, and they look better than they ever looked before, which would seem contrary to expectations. You know, is there this misconception that huge doses are needed to achieve a look that's just not true?
Yeah, you know what? It's just so funny that I was just, you know, helping Phil Clayhart, which is he plays controversial third. I'm being honest with you, Ron. I was there. Yeah. You know, I really had him first or second. But anyway, make the story short, we were talking, me and him, and he said, man, coach, you know what? It's so funny that I'm hard. I'm like 10 pounds heavier, and I use a lot less with you. He said, what's the secret? I said, honestly, look at your food. He goes, yeah, you know, I was telling my wife, like, how much fruit you use and a lot of vegetables and the avocado and everything. So, you know, I'm trying to keep it, you know, people don't understand. You know, if you just stick with white rice and chicken, it's very acidic. So you need to add something to it to, you know, balance the alkaline and acidity so you don't run into diseases. And as a result, your body actually flourish and your muscles feel and look better. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we were talking about. You really don't need those, you know, mega doses, man. It's crazy. And the problem is the young generation, they don't know that. And I'm sure George, he's doing the same thing as me, and he's trying to teach people, like, listen, man, you don't need 1,000 milligram of Trenbolone to become a champion. You know what I'm saying? If Guy Green can do it with a 3, you know, mil a week max, you know what I'm saying? Or Dexter or whatever. So that means you could do it too. You know what I'm saying? You don't need that much. So this is all what we're trying to do, you know?
Yes, Sergio. I mean, there is a misconception. They believe that those guys are ordinary people. Actually, those guys are one of a million. They're supreme genetic blessed that they can use 1/10 of the doses that you're taking, and they can jack up within get jacked within a month, you know. And I believe the steroid abuse is for the lazy, the ones that don't know how to train and how to eat. I mean, they come to my office, kids, and when I ask them how many times you eat a day, they say 2. I had a pizza last night. And then how many times you train a week? They tell me 3. And then when I was doing a personal training, he was doing crossover. He was talking on the phone. He was expecting to become like a hog, you know. Now I want to ask.
It's so funny, George, you said that, because I was just doing a seminar overseas, and you know, I went to teach him a little bit, you know, how your, you know, body, how human body could work, and how, like, you can, you know, like, basically bring the glycogen and stuff to the right muscles or whatever, the blood. And then there's a guy who asked me, he goes, you know, my biceps not working. I said, bro, yesterday when I'm trying to explaining to you guys in the gym how to, you were working out and talking to your friend about that girl you met at the club and what you did to her while you're working out. I said, now here's my question to you. Did you have a dumbbells while you were sleeping with that girl in the bedroom and working out? He goes, no, I was concentrating on her. I said, so that's what you need to do while you're in the gym. You need to concentrate on that muscle and don't talk about what you did with that girl and how much you drink. So that's, you're absolutely right, George. I'm with you on this. The lack of like that, you know, like that, you know, like we used to walk to the gym, man, and just like, oh my God, this guy is lifting this. I want to do better. You know, it's not there anymore, man.
But
they just rely on a
war.
pill.
We were going to the gym. It was a war. We against the weights. Now, I mean, it's the social media. Taking a selfie, having followers. It's so soft, the new generation with low testosterone, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And a lot of the gentlemen, they need to understand that they're listening to us. I mean, why we work out. You know, when you go, let's say you did 25-pound dumbbells today, you know, next week you did 30 pounds and now your body is adapting, right? So you're destroying that muscle. You're causing an injury to that specific muscles. And as a result, your muscles say, man, I want to get stronger. I'm not going to die. So it will grow. So you come next time, you push it. And like I said, you keep doing this and that's how you end up looking freaky and looking big. You know, not by you going to plane and taking steroids and thinking you're going to be a champion. That's not going to happen. That's never going to happen. I mean, as a matter of fact, I look at a lot of people, they say, I don't have genetic. In reality, listen, if you looked at me when I was 140 pounds coming out of high school, you say, this guy's going to be a champion. You know what I'm saying? But the hard work and dedication, the food, water, sleep, everything, that's the secret. That's how we made it to be a champion. You know what I'm saying, George?
Well, steroids certainly takes you to the next level, but do not make you a champion. I mean, no matter how many drugs I take, I'll never become like Ronnie, you know? I don't have the DNA of Ronnie Coleman or I mean, Mr. Grease or, you know, so each 100 years, there's a Ronnie Coleman, there's an Albert Einstein, there's a Michael Phelps, you know, a genetic freak.
Yes. Yes, you are 100%. And this is what, I mean, Jay Cutler said it best. He said, man, I was just trying, you know, like he goes, I wish I had that mentality I had today. I was just chasing, man, I just want to be freak. I want to be like, because everybody was following Ronnie, but in reality, you just want to follow yourself, you know, your genetic, whatever God gave you, whatever you can achieve. Don't kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we need to be smart. We need, you know, like all the new lifter, they need to say, listen, man, I realize I don't have the genetic. Maybe I should do men's physique if I can't do, you know, be a huge bodybuilder, or if I don't have the legs, or, you know, I mean, the good thing that Mr. Manion has given us such a great outcome now, like, and people can do so many different things from men's physique to classic to bodybuilding. You know, I mean, there's, you know, so don't just, you know, say, oh man, I can't compete. No, everybody can compete, but just don't kill yourself. You know what I mean? For bodybuilding. Always remember there's a life, and you're not going to stay 20 and 30 years old or 40. You're going to be 50 and 60. And you want to say, man, thank God I didn't just kill myself, because you don't want to regret it when you're older and you're like on dialysis, for God's sake, or you have so many different, you know, diseases that manifest through the life you did, you know, to yourself when you were young. And that's all really what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah, George, you know, I think I've asked you this before, but do you have any theory as to why we've seen so many serious health problems and deaths just in the last couple of years? Is it just a culmination? Like this has been building up for a long, long time, and it finally came to a head where a lot of these, you know.
You know what? I honestly, listen, George probably will agree with me. First of all, I can't just go in the open and tell you what's going on. But listen, man, why? Why is 2020? How come? Think about it. What did we change?
Well,
what did we do different?
We can blame the vaccine and the virus, yes, but it was pre-COVID also mortality.
Yes. Oh, definitely. But what I'm saying is, what, you know, I'm like, you know, listen, I'm vaccinated, I'm double jabbed, the whole 9 yards, but you have to be careful. And you know, I'm glad you came to my tweet, George, when I told people, about the vitamin E and the garlic and all that stuff, and you said about resveratrol. So you are 100% right. You know what I'm saying? Be careful, because we all know when we give somebody Anadrol, as a doctor per se, if somebody's anemic, okay, you give them the oxymetholone. The steroids are not made to make you a bodybuilder or have bigger muscle. You know what I'm saying? So so we need to be careful. There is a fine line, because taking steroid can thicken your blood, can make you have like, this is one of like, you have to tell people when they take steroid, even for medical reason, that listen, man, you got to be careful.
They kick it, yes.
Yes, exactly. So I think, like I said, I can't blame just the vaccine, but the vaccine have something to blame with, along with steroids.
It leads to coagulation, perhaps, and the COVID itself. But
yeah, I have today, I received actually a new study was done, and they're talking about almost 1,500 athletes died, in 2020 to 21. And, and we're not talking about.
We have to consider the athletes' abuse, training, and this crashes on immune system and cortisol. So they're not the ordinary people. They are so fatigued,
Yes.
CA goes 4 digital, sky high, 5 digital. And this has a cost in white blood cells and cortisol. So it messed up, They are really
100%, George. But the difference is why the 1,500 people that died at under 30 years of age, how come that wasn't happening in 2018? You see what I'm saying? That's why everybody's scratching
his head. Could be the virus.
Yeah. Like I said, there's so many things. And I'm not talking vaccine. Remember, because if you get the corona,
the virus itself could be the virus.
Yes, like I said, if you get the corona too, that actually could, could mess up your mitochondria and everything. So there's a lot of things that you can point fingers. But like I said, the most important thing is use your food as medicine, man. Start looking into stuff that, make your blood thinner naturally, make your heart better naturally. And that's what me and George were trying to do.
Yeah, George, speaking about now the Olympia lineup, I know you were coaching the top names, Kai, Dexter, Branch, even the Mr. Olympia, the reigning Mr. Olympia, Rami. Now, Rami recently announced that it'll be his last Olympia competing. Do you think this is a link to he wants to step back for longevity?
100%. Listen, Rami is not.
This is a good decision. Yes.
No, because me and him, we really talked. And Rami, you need to understand. I don't know if you saw. You're not gonna understand it, but we did live the other day, and Rami came on, and out of nowhere, and he said, "Man, listen, I just want to know the people that George put this, seed in my mind that I can become a champion when there's nobody believed in me." And he said, and as a result, I kept that and every prep and everything, I kept hearing his voice. Listen, there's nothing is impossible. You can become a champion. You have the tools, you have everything. So I'm so glad he actually put me in tears talking nice about me. But at the same time, listen, my hat off to anybody that is not selfish. And mind you, man, bodybuilders, a lot of them are very selfish because we go to the gym, you see them all looking in the mirror.
You have to
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So, okay, you have to be to a certain point, but then when you have kids and family and stuff, remember, man, in order to take care of them, you have to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? And living that lifestyle, it's really not going to be forever. You know what I'm saying? So I really, take my hats off to him, man. He's doing something really good. And a lot of champions can't, especially when you're on the top. You know what I'm saying?
It's a fact that he pushed it since 2013. He's under pressure all the way.
Yes.
Yeah. I wasn't really surprised to hear it either, but the guy's got 4 kids, 3, right?
Yeah.
3 kids. He's got 2 wives. I think he's only 35. Is that about
Yeah,
right?
he's mid-30s. Yeah, it's gonna be 36.
He's been doing this at such a high level already for almost 10 years now. He's got nothing to prove. If he walks away with 3 Olympia titles, that's 1 Olympia title's spectacular.
Exactly.
Two is and 3. Any multiple Olympia titles, you're elite. You're a legend. So
yes, 100%.
George, do you believe that the sport is heading towards the wrong direction?
You know what? Not really, because right now, like, we see some new faces, new prettier physiques are coming in. Like I said, but it's up to us, up to us who's, like, people listen to me, a lot of the good, coaches, you know what I'm saying? Like, me and Chris were very close, Chris Aceto, we were just talking yesterday. So it's really about longevity, man. We need to actually set the pace. We need to help the people. And of course, you know what I mean? Mr. Mannion, I talked to Tyler, we're really trying to look into the longevity of these guys. They have, it's not necessarily, oh my God, you just got to be peeled out of your mind and dying and fall. No, we don't want that. So we're trying, we're all together can actually fix it to make it head in the right direction again. You know what I'm saying? For a moment, it did, we did run into a lot of problems and people falling and, on the stage or whatever. So, I'm so glad that things are actually getting a little better. At least that's what I'm seeing. You know what I mean, George?
I just want to interject there is, they say the extreme condition, the dryness, we all know how unhealthy that is to achieve that look for that brief moment on stage. But to say that we're not going to reward that look, and then somebody shows up like that, of course you're going to reward that look. It's human nature. Like,
yes.
So you can't really, once you've opened Pandora's box, it's kind of hard to put the genie back in the bottle, as they say.
It's true, but if like, for an example, they're saying, listen, they might actually start banning people if they like fall or whatever, you know what I mean? Because it's really not good, man. So it's not good for all of us. This is the sport we love, man. This is the sport me, you, Ron, George, we grew up in. You know what I'm saying? And so many other people. I mean, we love it. So yeah. It's up to us, really, man, to really make it as safe as possible. And like I said, Ron, listen, you have seen Dexter many times, freaking peeled to the bone and everything. And I can swear to you, all those 12, whatever, 13 years we worked together, I never, ever give Dexter more than half a diazide. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and this is honest to God truth. That's the night before, half a diazide, that's it. You know what I mean? So, yes, he's a genetic freak and stuff, but so is Kai. Yeah. I mean, everybody think, oh my God, how much? Dude, nothing. You ask Kai, he'll tell you the same thing. Kai maybe took 1 diazide instead of half because of his sheer size, but not like some, like some of the coaches I'm hearing 2 weeks on, diuretic and stuff. Yeah. Man, listen, it's the worst thing you do, when your electrolyte imbalance happen. There's nothing, you can't chase it except you got to have an ambulance there with IV or whatever. And sometimes this even can't save you, so we need to be very careful. Like George said earlier, those guys need to get in condition in the gym, not just rely on drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, the diuretics thing, I just want to throw this in and I'll be quiet. It seems people have always mistaken body fat for water retention. Yeah. So I'm just wait till I drop my water. I'm looking at them. I'm like, that's not water, dude. That is not what you can't grab a hunk of water, on your
jiggles.
So yes, I think a lot of the problems with diuretics are just either people being delusional and thinking they're lean and they're just holding water, or maybe it's coaches who don't know how to get these people in shape. And some of these coaches are going crazy with the diuretics when these people clearly still have body fat to lose.
Ron, it's so funny, man. I'm not even kidding you. Like I see, like sometimes new guys, they come to me and I said, okay, what were you doing with so-and-so? I went with that coach. Oh my God, took my money. He gave me all this. But then I look at their diet. I'm like, oh my God, that's a diet I gave to whatever, like somebody who's big, Mm-hmm. And, but then I look on the bottom, it's almost, I know it's my diet, man. Like I know this is my diet, but then I look on the bottom, the gear, it's almost like triple. I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? So it's, this is like you said, man, there's all the new coaches and everybody like, Some of them, they probably haven't finished high school. They have no idea how human body works and stuff. And they take, I mean, just, you know, like we talked before, George will tell you this. Listen, if George now, he lives in the USA and give a prescription to somebody who doesn't need it, like testosterone or whatever, here, take this. Believe me, he'll go to jail. You know what I'm saying? But then, yeah, these coaches are just, oh my God, here, take that. You know what? I don't understand how they can go to sleep at night, man. You know, how you can go to sleep knowing that you could kill that guy. But the problem is they don't know if they can kill that guy or not. They don't know. They have no idea, you know?
But also the athletes have a responsibility because they're
100%.
But now I want to ask you as a judge, also as a coach, according to you, what's the main criteria that you look for? Is it symmetry and aesthetics? Is it conditioning? Is it muscularity? Is it posing and presentation, or the whole package?
Well, it's definitely, listen, it's all going to start with somebody, you know, how pretty they look. If somebody is ugly, I mean, we have seen so many, you know, names come and go, and they're freaky and everything, you know what I mean? But the thing is, they're not pleasing. I mean, you know, somebody from Spain who was hard as a rock all the time, straight and glued, muscle, like unbelievable, but he was just so blocky and stuff. That's why he never went anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't want to say names and stuff, but you know, so it's always start. Definitely, that's why we have that criteria. And, you know, as a judge, and I judged for like 12 years, 15 years, but, you know, you start with the symmetry, of course, condition, muscularity, and all follows. You know what I mean? You don't just say, oh, man, this guy is freaky, and let's put him first. You know, it's not that way.
Could, for instance, Chris Bump beat Ramy in terms because of the taper and aesthetics and appealing and looks and what's more mainstream and blah, blah, blah? Or is the hardcore that wins all the time?
You know, listen, the thing is, a lot of people talk, okay, Chris Bumstead is beautiful, pretty, right? From top to bottom, the guy is pretty. He's the bigger version of Steve Reeves. You know what I'm saying? So he's very, very awesome looking. And, you know, it's hard sometimes because some people tell you on pictures, well, you know, so-and-so look better. Listen, man, it's different when you see somebody live. You know, it's just a lot of people talk bad about Blessing. But believe me when I tell you, sitting there watching Blessing on the stage and hitting shot, it's different than seeing him in the picture. In the picture, man, he's the smallest guy. It doesn't matter. Look at his waist. Look at his taper. Look how pretty. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the judges were, and wow, every time he moved, there's lines moving and stuff. So now back to Ramy. Ramy is a freak, but guess what? Ramy have only a 31-inch waist. So maybe he's a freak and he doesn't, you know, maybe he's not the prettiest physique, but he's still pretty. I think Ramy have the best front leg spread that I have ever seen on the stage. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you can't take that away from certain champion. You know what I mean? I mean, Ramy is Ramy and Chris is Chris. Everybody's different. Now, do we miss, you know, the 90s? Of course, but that's not mean it's not going to happen again. You know, I have Andrew Jacks coming. I have a guy now named Rashid. A lot of people forget about him. That guy is a freak. He's working with me now. He's going to look amazing. You got Blessing. I mean, those guys, you have Brandon Curry. We do have a lot of pretty physique. You have Hadi. There's so many guys that do have pretty physique. Labrada is pretty from top to bottom. So you know what?
Samson.
Yeah, Samson. I mean, even Nick Walker. I hope Nick, he doesn't, you know, get in his head that he needs to be big, because he's pretty. If he just like stay nice and trim and keep his waist down, he could be really good. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, a lot of people, like I said, they chase that size. Don't chase Ramy. Chase you. See what's the best you could be. And that's what you got to do.
Cool.
This was actually what Dexter did. Instead of chasing and hunting Jay and Ronnie, he became the best version. And then he grabbed the chance in 07 when Jay was off and you became Mr. O.
100%. Yes, 100%. Like I said, you don't go around chasing. Just be the best version of you. And that's how you place your best. Because I got news for you. If there is a bigger guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, Sean Ray, I think he was one of the best bodybuilders put together so well. But then when you put him next to Dorian Yates, who have 50, 60 pounds of muscles on him with the same condition, of course, the bigger guy is always going to win. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I mean, because that's a freak show at the end. Bodybuilding is about, man, people love to see freaky guys. It's understanding. But guess what? Sean didn't go and kill himself to be, 300 pounds. He stayed 190 to 100 pounds, you know what I'm saying? Looking pretty. And he always plays consecutively, always, every Olympia, he was in the top 5. You know what I'm saying? As far as top 2. Same thing with Lee Labrada. He couldn't beat, Lee Haney. But guess what? He was freaking second in the Olympia. You know what I mean? That's not too shabby. So that's, it's hard to beat bigger guys. Hard to beat Ronnie Coleman. You know what I mean? Flex Wheeler, he's so pretty. So, I mean, I really thought that Flex could pull it off. But unfortunately, he didn't. You know what I'm saying? I think Flex should have at least won once or twice. You know what I mean? This is my opinion. But like I said, everybody have his opinion. But at the end, we all saw when a bigger man is in shape, it's hard to beat.
Yeah. Do you guys think Classic Physique, the introduction of Classic, sort of, it gave an option to a lot of guys who they were never going to be able to get that big. There was just no way genetically. But, a lot of people, they do have very nice structure, shape, but they're not meant to be 250, 300 pounds. It's just never going to happen.
100%.
So going back
100%.
in time, were you really happy when that division came out a few years ago?
I loved it. I mean, it's up to me. I think this is going to go far and far. You know what I mean? I love that look, man, because, I used to look up to Lee Labrada. I used to look up to Frank Zane. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is me. I never looked at Arnold and say, oh my God, I want to be like Arnold, honestly, because, like I said, I was 140 pounds, but, I always wanted I used to look at Lee Labrada or even Samir Benoud. I'm like, oh my God, their physique is so cool. And remember, Samir, I think was like 198 pounds or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, and this is me. But like I said, at the end, you have to give the open bodybuilding, the gold award, because they're the one who bring the people to the seats. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to see the freak show. Do you agree, George?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's more mainstream. It's more appealing for the masses, because not everybody can become a mass monster. There are always going to be the VIP tickets that are sold out for the fans of the mass master. But recently, I've seen Steve Blackman introducing many Classic Physique bodybuilders on the cover. It's really very attractive to the mainstream to get the magazine. I mean, somebody can say, I can become like Chris Bum, let's say now, rather than becoming like Dorian Yates. Now, I want to ask, George, have you noticed that Dexter Jackson, now that he retired, he looks more down to earth and he enjoys lifting machines, and he's not so big as he's used to train with Charles Glass. But I enjoy this version of Dexter because he enjoys life now with his grandchildren, and he's 55 or something, and he's not stressed, to keep all this mass that he had. And hats off to Dexter because he had this consistency and he was a freak. But I enjoying him still lifting instead of, quitting and doing nothing after 20 years of career,
Yes, 100%. Dexter's like a brother to me. He really called me 2-3 times a week. You know what I mean? I help him with a lot of stuff. We talk, family, all that stuff. Because this is what I like about bodybuilding, man. I have met an amazing, amount of great people like you, Ron, Steve. There's so many people. Jim Manion, I really consider like he's my second father or my big brother. Like when I was there, like in the worst time of my life, he was there for me. He lifted me up. He calls me. This is the head of the whole organization, calling me every week, sometimes twice a week, make sure I'm okay. So, and this is what I'm doing. And this is what Dexter is doing. This is in our blood, man. It's like people tell me, okay, man, George, you're still working out, yeah, what do you mean? I'm still eating breakfast, just like Arnold said, you know what I mean? If I'm going to still eating, if I eat 20 years ago, I'm going to still doing it now. I'm still going to do it, 20 years from now. So yeah, this is what I love about Dexter. I love him. I'm so proud of him, man. Plus he's 54. Don't say 55. Yeah.
He's 50. He's 52. He's 52.
No. He's gonna be 54, bro.
No,
Yes.
unless something's changed, because we're both born in 1969, Dexter and I.
What?
Yeah, unless he's been
No,
lying. Has he been lying all these years?
I could have swear that he's 68, but I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. And he's, the best thing is, listen, the guy's in his 50s. He was still beating men half his age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, he came to me, and me and him, we talked. I said, you're right, Dexter. You're a grandpa, and it's very smart for you to retire right now. You're still on the top. You're still looking good. People still looking up to you. But that's not mean he's going to stop working out. And what I love it, he still till today, man, every 3 to 6 months, he pull his blood work. You know what I mean? He does it because he's sponsored by those people. And I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean? His creatinine is 1.1. You know what I mean? His liver function is perfect. I love that, man. I love that. And this is all I want from all the people in bodybuilding, to land safely. It's very important to remember there's people that rely on you. People love you. It don't be, like I said, crazy. There's life after bodybuilding, you guys.
Yeah. I see there are guys who they can't let go of that freaky size, and they'll be retired for years and years. These guys will be 45, 50, 55 years, and they're still pushing heavy gear, eating 6 huge meals a day, just trying to walk around at 270, 300 pounds. And you're watching them, and I'm like cringing, because I'm like, this can't end well, this poor guy. And when somebody like that passes away, I'm sad, but it's not a surprise to me. I knew it was going to happen, because this guy just couldn't stop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm begging Dexter to eat 3 meals.
Is he on 2?
He does fasting.
Because he see me. He said, George, well, you only do 2 meals. I said, yeah, but Dexter, you still, man, you're the Mr. Olympia, dude, Dexter Jackson. You like to be out there. I said, so if you're he said, yeah, you're right. And it's so funny. As soon as we added 3rd meal, he actually gained like 10 pounds. You know what I mean? So he's a freak, man. I love Dexter.
He always said he hated eating. That was like the hardest thing. He never had an appetite. For him to eat enough food was the hardest part of bodybuilding.
Yes. Yeah. You know what we did? Actually, you're not going to believe this. So, his stomach, you remember, was getting extended and stuff, because people don't understand, man. It's just a human. We're just like cars, for an example. If you take a car and have 100,000 miles on it, guess what? More likely is you're going to start having problem mechanically. So you got to fix the engine. So what we did with Dexter is, like, he thought I was crazy. I said, Dexter, do me a favor, take your rice, take your chicken, and take your broccoli, whatever vegetables we have, you know what I mean? Put it in the blender with little water, put some, put some salt on it, like we use the Himalayan salt, whatever. And you know what? At the beginning, was that you crazy? And then he called me, he goes, oh my God, Georgie, that stuff is awesome, man. Man, I'm eating it. It's like, because it become like a baby food. You know what I'm saying? Oh. So it's like, it was so good. And all of a sudden, we did some prebiotic, probiotic and stuff. And all of a sudden, man, his stomach started getting down and looking good. And, and it's so funny. He was finishing his meal, because it's so easy to take the meal, instead of sitting and chewing so much. So the blender kind of chewed for you, and so he loved it at the end. We were doing this all the time. It's so funny. Like, every time I have a little stomach ache or whatever, that's what I do now with my food. So you know what? You gotta be smart, man. You gotta just do whatever you can.
I want to ask you something. Sorry, George. This is the last thing, I promise. The bubble guts, the distension that a lot of bodybuilders get as they get into middle age, even if they haven't abused things like GH and insulin. I saw one theory by a guy named Skip Hill. He's a coach, that it's mainly caused from a weakness of the abdominals, the obliques, and the transverse abdominalis. And if you work those muscles and you do regular vacuums, you can actually reduce that, which that was music to my ears, because my God, it's twice the size it used to be. It's horrifying. So do you agree with that? Or what do you think has caused all the bigger guts that we see in middle age?
Go ahead, George.
Well, certainly digestion is a big issue. And I assume that Dexter was not a big eater, and he had perhaps issues to digestion. That's why he couldn't eat, let's say, 6 to 7 large solid meals. And certainly the gut microbes and the lactobacillus acidophilus and the probiotics help a lot in order to digest, and other digestive enzymes. help you to digest smooth and faster the food. And actually somebody else who's a guru said that we blend the food in order to assimilate it faster. But speaking about the question of Ron, certainly, yeah, the transversus abdominis can blow out, you know, with intra-abdominal pressure, but I believe digestion of foods is affected by the steroid pills that messes up with the intestinal flora. And if you take too many pills, then you have this dilated colon, and it's because the good microbes are killed, you know, and then you need to take them orally.
Yeah. Yes, you know, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's all at the end. It's all have to do with our, you know, flora. You know, it's just that's why a lot of people like I love it. Not right now, people talking about, you know, flexible diet. I'm like, no, listen, calories are not created equal. I'm sorry, I hate to tell you this. You know, 100 calories from French fries is not the same as baked potato, because that goes inside and it mess up your flora, not for an hour or two, for weeks or two. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of people don't understand. Sugar causes a lot of candida. So, you know, George is, you know, hit it right on the money. And especially, you know, taking all that stuff, eating all that food, and then on top of it, take those oral, you know, steroid, and not, and surprisingly, not training your stomach muscles. It kills me. I don't understand how these guys, they go to gym and they don't, the first thing, like when me and Kai started working together, he was doing abs every day before working out, you guys. Wow. And everybody's like, man, how did you bring his waist down like this? You know, I mean, go look at 2014. Kai's waist actually is a lot smaller than Phil Heath, and he outweighed Phil Heath by like 40 pounds or so. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So yes, it's all combination of all this stuff we're doing to ourselves. But like, you know, me and George, we always agree the flora is the most important thing. Listen, we all know, but I mean, right now, almost every research from Harvard to Berkeley to everything, it tells you that if your intestines, if your stomach, your, you know, it's not right, that's the cause of almost every known disease to human. You know what I'm saying? So you guys got to be careful. Choose your food wisely, bodybuilder or not. It's very important to take care of your gut bacteria, because this is what's going to make you or break you. Am I right, George?
Yes, and if you take out of the blue antibiotics, they kill the intestinal flora also. You know, you have diarrhea and you flush all the good microbes. So you got to take it easy with your stomach and with your gut, because bodybuilders usually become bloated on stage, you know, because they had fiber, for instance, just before stepping on stage, which is the worst option.
Yes, yes.
George, what about gluten? Do you have your athletes go gluten-free?
You know what? I mean, believe it or not, certain people, man, they do fine with gluten, you know. But this is what a lot of people don't understand. Okay, why are we having problem with gluten? Because, you know, 100 years ago, yeah, even that we used to eat the same, you know, wheat or whatever, it didn't have that much. I don't know, whatever they engineered in the food, they make it like the gluten is a lot thicker, and that's why it's sticking to your gut, and, you know, you get in the leaky gut or whatever. But it's still, I don't think the gluten is the cause of the problem as much as the sugar. Man, you can't even pick up freaking, I mean, I went and got Italian dressing to put it. By the time I got home, I realized, I'm like, what? There's sugar in it. Why would you put sugar? My mom never put, you know, a freaking sugar when she put, you know, she put olive oil, lemon juice, and some vinegar. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get it. I don't get it. Why the use of sugar and everything? And I think that's the cause of a lot of the problem.
Yeah. But they say the average American eats like 100 pounds of sugar a year, something like that.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, just from the 1970s till now, the average American will have about 2 pounds of sugar back then annually. Right now, we're talking about 60 to 100 pounds of sugar. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. And you wonder why people are dropping and having so many diseases, manifestation and stuff. Listen, I'm telling you from myself, when I left bodybuilding, I don't know what got into my head, but, you know, traveling, and I was with The Rock and all these guys and going around the world, first class. But yeah, you sit down, they bring you all this cakes and stuff. You know what I mean? And everywhere you go, 5-star hotels, oh, the best dressing, the best food, all that dessert. And then all of a sudden, because I've been shot and there's lead in me, that manifests into, you know, into a disease, you know what I mean? That almost took my life. And right now, man, you can give me sugar and tell me, here, take whatever money you want. I'm all set. I'm not going to touch it, you know? But you know how I can get away with it? Because I use everything that God made for us. You know, some honey, maple syrup. I mean, maple syrup, a lot of people don't know it's an alkaline, man. It actually can heal you. You know what I'm saying? So if I put it with my tea, you know, it's perfect, you know? So, I mean, there's actually study, man, done. You can go Google it. You know, glass of fresh juice. We're not talking about something you buy from outside. You bring the oranges or the apples and you make it. It could increase your cancer intake. I mean, you can increase your cancer by 18 to 22%. You know what I mean? Just imagine. So the sugar is our enemy, and that's what we need to be careful with.
For sure, it triggers inflammation, you know, it's an inflammatory hormone. Now, George, the past 5 years, you've been focusing a lot on longevity. Do you have any secret protocols of supplementation and nutrition that can help people head towards this? I mean, after they retire from bodybuilding, and hopefully they want to retain their health.
You know what? I mean, why you think people, you know, always talk about Mediterranean diet? Now, mind you, Mediterranean diet, we have about 50-55% fat in it, right? But it's all from olive oil, maybe some cheese, some stuff. But the reason why it's very popular among longevity or, you know, the blue zone people and stuff, because there's not a lot of, you know, animal protein in it. You know what I'm saying? They rely a little bit on fish, a lot of olive oil and stuff. So it, like, you know, I mean, you see my tweet, George. You know, if somebody really want to, I mean, let's not just kid around. You know, there's two types of food that will make you fat and food that will make you energetic and make you live longer. So it's up to you. I mean, we need to teach people because some people don't know, you know what I'm saying? But in reality, a lot of the people know what's right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people know that, you know, eating a donut, it's not like eating something nice, you know, like oatmeal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. You know, it's year 2022. I don't think there's many dumb people that think, oh, man, the donuts is the same thing as the oatmeal. No, it's not. You know what I mean? Or French fries is the same thing as the rice and vice versa. You know, like, so like I said, you need to be, you know, like what we always say, you use your food as medicine or you're going to be using medicine as food later on. You know what I mean? So start doing the right thing, man. It's very simple. I tell people it's like, you know, like many doctors said it before, you know, if God don't make it, don't take it. You know what I mean? It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? Right, George?
Yes. I mean, the human civilization was pre-existing than sugar.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Well, George, you have one, Tuliados, George, because we're both George. You have one last question because it is the 4th of July as we're recording this. George is on that beautiful lake. He's got house guests coming to boat and jet ski.
Oh my God, we got so many people coming tonight. We have fireworks. It's crazy. You know, I'm going to send you a video tonight. It will be like crazy around here, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's you know, Ron, even that I grew up in Lebanon, but remember, I was very young. I was a little teenager coming here. So I have 35 years in this country. This is my country. And without freedom, we don't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I love it, man. And you know, I just want to wish everybody happy 4th of July. And we should all fight for that freedom we have.
Cool. Right.
Thank you for accepting my invitation, George. It's a really honor and pleasure. And I hope to see you perhaps at the next Mr. O in December at the Las Vegas.
100%, George. It's my pleasure. And you promised me you're going to come and visit me. And I'm going to come and visit you in Greece. So don't forget that.
Yeah, cool. Just make sure you come when the weather's nice, George. Look at that. Look at that behind him. That is beautiful.
Ron, you're welcome anytime.
Where's this place?
Seriously, bring the family and come, man. We take the boat. I have a couple jet skis. I mean,
where's
really
this place
have
now?
a good time.
Where's this place? Where's this place?
Oh, this is on Lake Ontario. I was just telling him. So what you do, this is here around that Bay. So I take my boat and I go. You see where those boats are going? So if you go straight there, you go through a channel, and then that will take you to the biggest lake, which is Lake Ontario. And I usually take my family and we go all the way to Ontario, you know, to Toronto. We do some shopping there. So it's pretty cool. You go all the way to Canada. It's beautiful. Wow. And then you see the plane, they come here and the plane go and they land on the water. So it's pretty cool, man. All cool stuff, you know, around here.
Cool, man. Well, yeah. Enjoy your 4th of July, George. Beautiful over there. Yeah. Thanks so much for doing this today of all days.
Oh, it's my pleasure, you guys. Love you guys.
And sharing. Yeah, I love hearing you guys go back and forth because you have such great insights on these topics. So yeah, great idea, George T. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for watching Ask Dr. Testosterone. Today's special guest was George Farah. We'll see you right here next week on Ask Dr. T.